Subscribe, hit that bell icon, and share this clip if you enjoy it. This is TRS Clips.
It's not a bad word. I mean, when you said N-word, I thought you were going to say something racial.
No. The N-word from a film perspective.
Yeah, nepotism, there, we said it, And it's an important conversation, Ranveer. It's an important conversation.
Feel free to talk about it. It
Yeah.
wasn't my intention to bring it up.
No,
in this particular-
I'm very happy to talk about it. I think it's a conversation that must be had. I think all conversations must be had.
Okay.
If even one person feels something, I think it's very important for the film industry to always introspect and try and correct something if it is wrong. But in order to do that and to judge whether something right or wrong, we must understand it in entirety.
Sure.
Unfortunately, in today's day and age of speed, and in social media where a verdict has to be passed immediately, we tend to have a rather myopic view about stuff. It's very important. I've been on social media now for 11 years. 2009, November 3rd, I joined Twitter. I still remember. And at that point, the slightest thing would trigger you off. Today, you might read something. My first reaction is, wait, let me do some R&D about this. Let me check, are there any other views? You need to try and get an entire 360-degree perspective. Nepotism is an important conversation because this industry has been painted as an industry which only works with its own. There's this very apparent divide between insiders and outsiders, and I understand where that comes from, and it's true to a certain extent. We tend to forget that the majority of the successful people are not from the industry. They've not come from here. They're all outsiders that have come in and have achieved.
We also tend to forget that nepotism is a part of every industry out there, man.
Yeah, but nobody wants to hear that, right? So let's not. There's no point getting into it because there's always but if, but that. Fine. Let's not get into the normal conversation about it. You're talking about an industry which needs to work with comfort. Coming back to what we were discussing before, you're dealing with emotions. So you need to trust the person you're working with. I would perhaps would want to work with somebody that I know, because I'm going to be dealing with my emotions. I'll speak as an actor and as a producer, because those are the two fields I'm qualified to talk about. As an actor, I would probably be more comfortable working with somebody that I have a rapport with, so that I can feel secure emotionally that this person is going to take care of me, take care of the film, do right by the film. It's going to be very difficult to deal with these points of what we've discussed to somebody who you don't know at all. That could be one of the reasons. Plus, it's always been like one big, large, dysfunctional family. All right? It's just the vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say to you today, and I'm saying this consciously, knowing the kind of discussions that happen, I agreed to do Bob Biswas because Sujoy's daughter was making it. I had not heard the script. Sujoy came to me. I've written a story about a contract killer who loses his memory, and he's trying to regain his life, and his past catches up with him. I said, okay, interesting. Contract killer loses his memory, throws up a lot of conflict. Nice. I said, are you going to direct it? Are you producing? He said, no, I'm producing it. I said, who's going to direct it? He said, my daughter Dia. I said, okay, done. He said, no, hear the script. I said, no, it's done. He said, no, I don't want you to. I want you to hear the script, and if you don't like it, don't do it. I said, Sujoy, it's your daughter. I'm doing it. That's me. That's my personal choice. I've always put relationships ahead of personal and professional gain.
Yeah.
Does that make me wrong? I don't know. I was thankful. I was very happy and majorly relieved that it was such a fantastic script and it was such a great character and that Dia was just brilliant. But the point is, Ranveer, I'm not sure if I said this to you the last time. Truer words weren't said when I reached the premiere of my first film. And it was at the Liberty Theatres in South Mumbai. And after the arduously long drive from Juhu all the way to Liberty in South Mumbai, I remember reaching there, this huge crowds and this huge roar went up when I got out of the car because, making his debut. The entire film industry had been invited to the premiere. Those are the days of premieres. And it wasn't just a red carpet where you go take a few selfies. It was a proper premiere, army band playing, all that kind of jazz. Great fun, the full glitz and glamour. And here was, this young colt who was about to make his debut. And obviously the entire industry had come to wish us and bless us and obviously see what we're all about. And I remember walking through the gate, and when I reached the main door of Liberty, I remember Yash uncle was standing there, Mr. Yash Chopra. Now, I was born in front of him. I've grown up playing in his house. He's family. I took his blessings because obviously I was going in for my premiere. He's such a senior and respected person, and he means what he does to me and my family. And he hugged me, and he said something to me in my ear, which I'll never forget. And truer words were never spoken. He said, "Your father brought you till here. Remember that, respect it. From here, you have to walk on your own 2 feet. Because if tonight the film isn't good, by tomorrow morning they'll know and nobody will go see your film." And that is, whether you like it or not, is the truth. It's not about being given another chance. I say this with a very heavy heart. I have a lot of friends who are from the industry, who are children of prominent actors, who haven't managed to carve a niche for themselves. And they haven't been given a chance. And please let me tell you, and please, I'm saying this with absolute humility. If you are given that chance, there is a very practical reason behind it. And that reason usually has to do with business. And the business is, okay, for example, they might not be the biggest star, but if I make a movie with them, my budget comes down X, I can sell it for Y. Okay, that makes business sense. Let's do it. It's a business, man. At the end of the day, yes, why would a producer not want to work with somebody that they've worked with before or a family member? There is a comfort zone over there.
Yeah.
There are certain liberties you can take. There's an ease of working and understanding. But it's always been about, can this person bring back the returns on the film?
Yeah.
And if they can't, you don't get a job. And now I can speak from personal experience. I've been in that receiving end. I've been at the end where I didn't get a job. I've been at the end where I've been replaced by countless films. I forget today. I've been at the end where I was getting calls from certain makers. And 6 months later, when my films haven't done well, not only do they not pick up your phone call, they don't call back. I've been in the zone where you've gone up to a maker and say, "Look, I'm a huge admirer. I'd love to get the opportunity to work with you. Yeah, I'll call you this, that." That call never comes.
Yeah.
The important thing is not to get bitter about it. The important thing is to understand that it's not personal. If you're worth it, they'll call you.
Yeah. I have 3 things to say as an outsider, trying to understand the industry from the inside and speaking to people from the industry. The first is what you said about business. That while we criticize nepotism, while the general audiences criticize it as for what it is,
Yeah.
people fail to understand that, say, star kids, so-called star kids, do guarantee a certain high amount of returns versus someone who's absolutely not from the industry.
In the first film alone.
In the first
Yeah,
film.
because there's that whole hunger to say, okay, what is this guy's
Yeah.
son or daughter going
Exactly.
to do?
The second thing is that thing you said about being on set. A film set or a video creation set,
Yeah.
there is a certain energy that goes through, and everyone has to be in sync. It's like
Yeah.
playing in a band.
Yeah.
So the familiarity helps.
Absolutely.
And the third thing, I'd try to recall what Ayushmann Khurrana said on this podcast. He said that there is opportunity out there. If you're willing to work hard enough and if you're prepared enough, you will find the opportunity. Often people who blame nepotism and things like that aren't kind of gauging the situation from a 360-degree perspective. If you really want something, there is opportunity to be grabbed. But you just got to work for it.
Absolutely, man. You're talking to somebody who sits here who comes from a place of immense privilege, of which I'm very aware of, very appreciative of, and I work my rear end off every day, not to disrespect that lineage. But that lineage was given to me by a man who left a well-paying job in Kolkata, came to Mumbai, slept on the bench on Marine Drive for nights, entered a film contest, lost, went to All India Radio, got voice rejected, struggled and made his way. He's paid his dues, and he continues to, at the age of almost 80, work 16 to 18 hours a day. It's not easy, man. And you've got to stay humble, and you got to, like you just said, at the end of the day, it's your work that counts. If your work isn't good enough, the audience won't want to see you. If they don't want to see you, nobody's going to give you a job.